From the 22 News Plus studio, this is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of InFocus. I am your host, Patrick Berry. I am joined in the studio today by Bill Stack. He is with Eversource. He's an energy efficiency specialist. Bill, thank you very much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you coming in and giving me some of your time.
Thank you for having me, Patrick.
Oh, absolutely. I love having these conversations because, whether you're a homeowner, a condo owner, an apartment renter, whatever it is, there are ways that we can save money, low-cost ways that we can each save money on our utility bills each month. But Bill, let me ask you first and foremost, and this sort of boggles my mind a little bit. Why does my energy provider want me to save money? Because if I'm not saving money, I'm giving you the money. So I don't understand the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, well, several years ago, about 2010, we came up with, working with the state, the Green Energy Act, which created energy efficiency programs for all the utilities in Massachusetts. And overall, it's the best thing to do for climate change, the environment, and what have you. But it's also an opportunity for us to have our customers pay attention to energy usage. Also offer them incentives and rebates on how to reduce their energy usage and provide all types of information to them as to how they can achieve that.
So that change more than a decade ago was not just Eversource, it was every energy provider in the state. So whether you, like I live in Westfield, so we have a municipally owned utility there. There are a number of those throughout the state, but it was for everyone.
It was for publicly owned utilities,
okay.
if you will. Yeah.
Okay.
So the munis do not have to participate in the Mass Save program, and maybe why your rates are a little bit lower because there aren't the conservation and energy efficiency charges on your bills. But then again, you don't get to participate and get rebates and incentives and 0% financing for certain items as well.
So how has it gone? I mean, has it been well received on both ends, both the customer end and on the Eversource corporate side?
It's gone really exceptional. For many, many years, ACEEE has rated...
All right, I got to stop you. What's the acronym?
That's the American Council for Energy Efficiency Economy.
Okay, we'll go with ACEEE. It's much easier.
ACEEE, exactly. For years, they rated states as to the efficiency, energy efficiency, and greenhouse gas reduction, decarbonization. And Massachusetts, for several years, was #1 rated. We either been rated, since they started doing it, either #1 or #2. It's kind of neck and neck with California in a lot of the years.
That's fantastic.
So it's not on, but Mass Save's been a big component of that. There's also been, legislation that's been passed for transportation bills and all that type of stuff. That's not necessarily strictly electricity or natural gas use. But Mass Save program has overwhelmingly been a big portion of why we've been ranked #1 over the years.
So, and customers must be embracing this because who doesn't want to save money?
They do. To your point, though, a lot of them say, how it's like owning a business selling fruit, but you're telling people not to buy fruit. So, but we make the point of making sure they understand that we're trying to save. We're helping the environment. And on the other side, because we're doing reduction, we also set goals with the state of Massachusetts. And if we achieve those reduction goals, we do receive a payment from the state to make up for some of the lost revenue based on that. But overall, in regards to the communities and the residents and the businesses that we serve through our energy efficiency program, it's been a huge success.
And it's a smart idea because the less energy we're using, the better it is for all of us, the air that we breathe, the environment, and so forth. It's really just a smart idea.
It is, yeah. It's a great idea. It makes sense for the overall climate change type of situation. But bringing it closer to home, it's a great way for us to be involved in communities, be involved with our businesses even closer, and of course our residents as well, to help them save energy. And we always talk about how by becoming more energy efficient, the one way you can kind of control your energy costs. And some people have never been aware of just there's steps that help me reduce it. And that's why this program has been so successful, because we do step in and help our customers.
That kind of leads me to my next question is, what is the effort on either you individually or on Eversource as a whole to get out to the people to make sure they know about this program and understand the benefits that they can take advantage of?
Yeah, well, we work closely with all the utilities and Cape Light compact down on the Cape. They handle the energy efficiency programs there, where we meet monthly, sometimes twice a month, depending on what committee it is, to make sure that the programs mirror each other from the Berkshires all the way down to the province, down the end of Cape Cod, to make sure that the programs mirror each other, that you can get the same incentives, rebate levels, et cetera, throughout all of Massachusetts. So we have
So the incentives aren't differently. So if you live in Metro Boston, where the cost of living is higher, the savings incentives are equal to Pittsfield.
Yes, depending, and it also depends on the size of buildings. Obviously, downtown
Yeah, true.
Boston, we have a whole commercial section of people dedicated
Right.
to the high rises, or that, so that might skew with some of the savings percentages. But by and large, yeah, all the incentives are available statewide, and it's through the Mass Save program where we all sponsor Mass Save. So if you go to masssave.com, you get to see your utility will come up because you enter your zip code. All the offerings are the same, so we're able to mirror, like I said, all the programs from Berkshire's right to Provincetown.
You made a passing comment about commercial properties. Is this only a homeowner, condo owner, apartment building owner program, or like if I own a small business and I've got a standalone brick and mortar store or facility, can I take advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. We have got a great small business program as well. We have this yearly, we have this Main Street campaign. We'll go to communities in all of our territories, and for one day, we'll go literally right down Main Street, go
Hmm.
business to business to business, see if we can give them a quick assessment, try to get a much in-depth assessment at a later time, but also an opportunity to share what information, what incentives are available for our small business community. Now, the major corporations, we have dedicated people to those, like somebody for hospitals, somebody for
Right, right,
municipal buildings, somebody for hotels. So we have dedicated people to that because the equipment is so much different
right.
compared to the small business. But absolutely, we've made great progress with all the businesses, both the large commercial and industrial, as well as the small business.
Fantastic. We're up on our first break. When we come back after the break, we'll talk a little bit about how you, as a homeowner, or as Bill just mentioned, a commercial property owner, can save some money by taking advantage of these programs. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back to this edition of InFocus. We're here in the 22 News Plus studios. I've got Bill Stack, an energy efficiency specialist and spokesperson with Eversource. We're here talking about how you can save money, whether you own your own home, your condo, you're an apartment dweller, or if you're a commercial property owner. And that's sort of where we left it before the commercial break, Bill. So what are some of the things that the average person can do to cut down their utility bills?
Well, there's some no-cost steps people can do in regards to saving during the winter months. You want to bright sunny days, let the sun come in. Basically, that old '60s song. Open the curtains, raise the shades, and let the sun help warm the living area as well. That way, your heating system is not cycling so frequently.
You know, it's funny you say that because my house faces east. So on the cooler mornings when the sun comes up, I have a glass door like a screen door, like a glass door, and then the main door. So I will open the main door, the heavy door, and the heat that's generated from the sun hitting that glass it warms up that whole space.
It does, and then and it really does. It is effective not making the heating systems have to cycle so frequently.
Right.
If you have hot air or radiators, so you want to make sure the hot air vents are clear. Furniture, drapes, rugs are not blocking those. Radiators, if you have radiator covers, I have radiators in my old home. We pull the radiator covers out so that the radiation can
Okay.
actually take place. I know some people who have radiators, they literally build pieces of sheet metal to put behind the radiator so the
So
radiation
it pushes it.
reflects it back into the
That's a
room.
good idea.
Because a lot of the radiators in the older homes really are on the outside walls
Right.
because they have the piping go all the way out there and then have the radiators in there. But it was a smart idea to have the radiation come back into.
And here in New England, there are a lot of old homes, probably still a lot with old style, radiators.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I think the first step people should do, though, is we have a great home energy assessment program at no cost. An energy specialist will come.
Another no cost.
Yeah, but another a specialist will come to your house or your businesses, as we talked about commercial, but especially at your home, they'll come in from the attic down to the basement, look at everything that uses energy, from insulation levels, air sealing opportunities, look at heating systems, appliances, lighting, electronics, etc., and give you a personalized report as to what steps you can take to become more energy efficient. Uh,
So they
Regarding all
won't
those
do the
items.
work or they won't provide the supplies. They'll just tell you, maybe here's a list of a dozen things that are really crucial from, maybe it's time to replace your windows or your shingles down to, hey, maybe caulk around these doors, get some, what do I call them? Draft busters or
Yes, yeah,
draft dodgers, right?
yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that to put under your door.
Yeah, that we recommend that all that stuff. All that stuff is listed, but sometimes depending on who the contractor is, the Mass Save approved contractor is, they can also provide the services that they suggest. They may be able to add insulation for you
Oh,
or
wow.
air sealing. The air sealing takes place, by the way, during the assessment at no cost. So if they're down in your basement and they see light, say coming out through the pipe that goes out for your outside spigot for water, um, they'll air seal it for you while they're there.
Okay.
And then you'll get the list of items that they suggest that you implement in regards to maybe it's a smart thermostat, and then all the rebates and incentive levels that are available to you through the program that can help offset any out-of-pocket costs.
It's interesting you mentioned smart thermostats. Even if you don't go a smart thermostat, and don't want to, maybe you don't want to invest in that, just a programmable thermostat
Correct.
is crucial. I did that probably, I don't know, 25 years ago, and it makes a world of difference because you're not constantly going over adjusting it. Oh, we're going to bed, so you drop it down. You go, oh, got up, wait, raise it up. It's automatically there.
Yeah, we promote those as well. And the other thing is if people want to purchase them, if they go to the masssave.com site, there's a link to our Mass Save marketplace where you can go there and whatever, if you want to get programmable, a smart thermostat, you put in your electric um, account number or your natural gas account number, depending on what utility you're working with, and you can receive up to $100 towards either a
Wow.
programmable or the smart thermostat. So that's another way we can help promote energy efficiency to our customers.
So going back to this no cost assessment, so somebody comes out to the house and they go through top to bottom, really, like like I jokingly said, from the shingles down all the way down to the basement, but that's really what they're doing. What is it? This has to be a, a process that takes several hours.
It can. It depends on the size of the house, age of the house as well. I mean, it was a house built after 2000. Most of the codes are already there in regards to insulation levels. If it's an older home that was built years ago, we find that some of the homeowners don't realize they don't have insulation in their walls. They just have attic insulation or
Wow.
what have you.
I
So
guess
yeah, so we're able to see just do you need wall insulation. Then we can offer um, up to 75% incentives towards replacing that. So you only have to pay 25%. And then depending on your income level, 100% of the cost could be covered through the program as well.
that
So
is a great option.
it is, it really is. And you'd be surprised. Uh, our income eligible program where everything would be covered. For example, a household of four with an annual income of 94,600 and below qualifies for the income eligible program where all of this can take place at no cost at all to the,
What an
the
i- what a
homeowner.
what a great idea.
It's a great
And
program.
but the first step is contacting someone to do that assessment, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Or does it make sense to go to the website or maybe you already know your own home? All right, I know my windows are drafty. I know I need this or that.
Yeah, that's true. But it's no cost. You want to talk to an expert who's
Mm,
actually in your home
right.
looking at everything. So it makes sense that, you go to masssave.com or eversource.com and you get the information or the links where you can set up an assessment for your home. And then we try and schedule it according to your schedule. We might have a late afternoon one,
Right.
sometimes a Saturday during busy season. If that works out for people, we're able to make sure we take care of everyone who's trying to have one done.
I've heard of these energy assessments where they like put a big vacuum on your home or whatever, where they draw the air from either outside in or inside out, which one of the two, to check for like serious draft leaks. Is that part of this, or is that like a whole separate
It
level?
can be part of it, depending again on the age of the home and that type of situation. To blow a door test,
Okay.
where they basically try to make sure all the windows and everything in the house are sealed, and then they go to one door, but usually the front door of the home, and they can set up the blower door test where they are taking air out of the house and see just where the leakages may be coming from and where the opportunity for um, for insulation or air sealing can take place. And in some instances, depending on the temperature outside,
Right.
they were able to use passive infrared to see
Oh,
where the cooler sections are in your home as well. But you know that there has to be a difference between the outside temperature and inside temperature. So
right,
right
right.
now it wouldn't be a good
Doesn't
time
work.
of year to do that. But
January, great time to do
yeah, it is.
it.
And as we get to
Yeah,
December and everything, because it's people start to think about these things seasonally, so they're thinking about
absolutely.
it now.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
uh, we kind of get a queue going in fall, and then again in springtime, where people are thinking about cooling season. So
Right, right.
we kind of get things backed up then. But any time of year, we can provide these services.
Fantastic. We're up on our second commercial break. We're here with Bill Stack. He's an energy efficiency spokesperson with Eversource. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back to today's edition of In Focus. We're here in the 22 News Plus studio with Bill Stack. He is an energy efficiency spokesperson with Eversource, the probably the biggest energy provider in the nation, I would think. Because you guys are
New England, yeah,
in New England, you guys
yeah.
are up there. We've talked a little bit about how folks you can save money at home, or if you own a commercial property, how you can do it there. Some simple things. The free, no cost energy assessment where somebody comes out to the house. You know, Bill, one of the things I've been noticing in just some of the news, we're a lot of HVAC organizations out here in Western Mass are reducing or cutting back their servicing of gas furnaces, oil furnaces, but they're now shifting their priority to heat pumps or what I would call mini splits.
Mhm.
Why is that? Are mini splits heat pumps better?
Well, yes, they are more efficient than the fossil fuel systems. They can be sometimes 3 times more efficient.
Really?
Yeah. So in the Mass Save program, we're moving away from offering rebates from delivered fuel, fossil fuel, oil, gas, propane, to have people. We're working with the state to get their decarbonization greenhouse gas goals by 2030, and then years after that. So there's more of a shift to electricization of the heating systems as well.
So that brings up a good point because I wanted to ask you, how does a heat pump, how does a mini split work? You casually mentioned electrification, so I'm assuming it runs off electricity.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. So it basically, instead of creating heat or cooling, it actually draws air from the outside and the warm air and is able to decipher if it's warm. And then for the wintertime, obviously,
Okay.
you get heat there. And the same thing, conversely, they can be used for air conditioning as well, almost with coils similar to a refrigerator,
Okay.
if you will, to cool the air. Um, we have mini split systems, but you can also do vented systems depending on the home size of the home, the way the house is constructed. So there's opportunity to do vented, but one of the biggest sales are the mini splits where people they know what rooms are cold and they want to add these mini splits to them as well.
So, so I guess my terminology was really the heat pump is the system, and then within the heat pump system, there's a mini split version and a venting version.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And that's where most of our rebates and 0% finances is focused now, as having people convert to heat pumps as well.
Okay.
So,
But again, trying to get my head around, but it's using more, it's converting to more electricity, right?
yes, but the savings from not having natural gas bills or oil bills is offsetting the increase in electricity, and they're
Okay.
more efficient. So you may not be using them. It would not be recycling as much as an old boiler or an old furnace. So that's where the efficiency comes in as well. But you're right, the electric bills go up during the winter months and obviously cooling months too, but more so in the heating months. But we've recently worked with the DPU, and there's
DPU is
a Department of Public
okay.
Utilities in Massachusetts and Department of Energy Resources, DOER. We've worked together to reduce winter bills on heat pumps, people who have heat pumps in their homes. So there'll be There's an opportunity if you've participated in the Mass Save program and had a rebate or incentives from us from January 1st to from 2022 till today, you will be automatically registered to have
Oh,
your rate for the heat pump during the winter months will change from November 1st through the end of April 30th.
okay.
Before that, we're still finalizing how we can, verify anyone who participated or maybe had it done but didn't participate in Mass Save. We're still finalizing a way to get that verified to our customers. And also, so people should pay attention to bills because more information will come out in
Right.
bills, and also go to our website maybe in the next few weeks as we finalize that. But if you've already participated in Mass Save, you're automatically registered to have that reduction.
I laugh a little bit because you said people need to pay attention to their bills. It's not junk mail because there's,
Right.
we always look at our utility bill and it's just page after page, but on those pages is valuable information,
Right.
of maybe outages, maybe work in your neighborhood, maybe here's how you,
Yeah, I should have
rebate you're
probably,
getting or saving money.
the bill message that we have on their bills. Of course, everyone's going to see the dollar signs,
Of course,
but
right, right,
then we have a bill message section on our bills where people can get information. Or you can always just go to eversource.com.
right.
If you just go on and pay the bill and don't really ever take a look at the actual bill itself, and you had a heat pump before 2022, keep going to our website, in Mass Save website, to see how to verify that the heat pumps have been installed at your residence.
And right there on the bottom of your screen, folks, are the websites masssave.com or eversource.com. And as it says, you'll learn more about how you can save money, get, the free energy assessment and so forth. You know, when folks get that energy assessment back, or maybe they, again, like me, you've been in your home long enough, the issues that you might be having. It could be, something simple as just, a tube of caulk from your local hardware store, just going around your doors and windows, right?
Right, it could be a do-it-yourself type of thing. Any air sealing that we're able to take care of during the assessment gets taken care of. Um, other items that you think, okay, maybe I will use some of those draft dodges at the bottom
Right.
of the thing. We put in air sweeps too, because that's part of our air sealing, if you will.
Okay.
But there still be maybe even a bigger space than that you would like in your doorway, so you can figure out ways to do things yourself. And some simple things that they point out when they walk through is if they're looking at your windows, and you may have gotten new windows recently, but people sometimes don't lock them. So you should lock them, number one, for safety, but number two, the way these windows are manufactured, by locking them, it creates a better seal around the windows itself, so there's minimizes any.
Bill, I'm guilty of that. I love to have my windows open. So, during the warmer months, I want the fresh air in there. During the cooler months, I want some of the cooler, fresher air in there. And I never lock them. I never do the latch. And my wife like walks behind me doing the latches,
Yeah,
because it does. They create a better
it
seal.
creates a seal. Yeah, it keeps the warm air out during the summer, cold air out during the winter. So again,
They're
safety
simple
first, and then
things,
simple
simple
things like that.
fixes.
Yeah, but then if more detail, then you get an idea as to add insulation. We don't have all insulation, so you don't have to do it all at once. I mean, you can
Right.
set things up and see what incentives are
Budget
available.
accordingly to
Budget
your household.
accordingly. See what incentives are going to help offset everything.
Fantastic. And one more time, Bill, I'm going to pull it up on the screen. The two websites for people to go to.
Eversource.com and masssave.com. All the information from all you public utilities and Cape Light Compact are on that website.
Fantastic. Bill Stack from Eversource. I can't thank you enough for giving me some of your time today. Some great tips, folks. Go to those two websites or contact your local municipal utility, whichever provides your power, to learn how to save some money. Hey, everybody's looking to save some cash. So, Bill, thanks again. Good seeing you.
Thank you, Patrick.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.